Hello. So I think it's very ironic and interesting that people want the control over their own bodies when it comes to drugs. Yeah, have you noticed that? Like, not necessarily a thing that has to do with Democrats or Republicans or Antifa or Proud Boys or this or that. It's more that every time in history you tell someone like, "Hey, you don't have the right to smoke cannabis," or "You don't have the right to drink." Well, then what happened? We had the prohibition, and it just went to shit. Like, people drank regardless, and there was a black market, and the money went into mobsters' pockets, and then that created this thing of like, there was these people that recognized there was a community of people that wanted a particular commodity. That commodity was alcohol. The government said it's illegal, and then what happened? You just have all these mobsters just being like, "Oh well, regardless if it's illegal, we're going to continue supplying it because people want it." And what happened? Eventually, it became legal again, right? And all this money was taken um, and put into pockets of people that, you know, defied the law, right? But it's like no one wanted that law, so that's why in the end it just got reversed to where alcohol is legal now. And I just want to kind of really make this clear because this is pure irony. Like, if you are out there and you're like, you shouldn't vape and vaping is bad, or you shouldn't smoke cannabis, it's bad. Think about the ironic contrast of someone saying, "We want you to be vaccinated. Please take the vaccination." What's the problem, right? It's just a vaccination. What's the big deal? It's just a corona vaccine. That's the same thing, literally the same thing as me saying, "Hey, I want you to smoke cannabis against your own will." And then if someone's like, "No, I really don't want to," I'm like, "Well, regardless of what you feel, you just have to do it. And I need you to do it, and you're going to do it now. You're going to smoke. You're going to get high," right? Does this remind us of anything? Does this remind us of the peer pressure and everything we've been told back when we were kids about, hey, if someone's trying to give you something and you don't want it and they keep peer pressuring you, that's probably not good, isn't it? It's probably not a good sign. So that's the exact same thing we're witnessing with the vaccines, is you have someone who's like, "Go ahead, take it. Don't worry. Oh yeah, you can't sue the companies who make it, but just go ahead and take it anyway." It's the same damn thing. If I'm just like, "Hey, I know you don't smoke, and I know you don't like nicotine, but I think the Juul is amazing, and you are nothing compared to me because I vape the Juul." It's like, you see how dumb that is? It's just like, this is my own choice. That's all it means. It doesn't mean much more than that. It's like, now when it comes to me forcing this upon you, that's against your own freedom of will, and it's peer pressuring you into what, doing a habit that I like. That's the craziest thing about it, is that it's like when someone, smokes whatever, drinks, and people are like, "Well, just because you smoke or just because you drink, you are a bad influence, or you're influencing people to do that, to just vape all the time or drink all the time." But you have to understand that we're not obligated as human beings to be all on this like level, same playing field as like, "Oh, none of us do drugs because all drugs are bad, so we'll all just be sober and never do drugs again." That's this kind of idea that, why should we have anybody different? Because if we all just do the same thing, then we'll all be the same, right? Like an NPC world, where it's like, "Oh, everyone has decided that nicotine is bad, so no one does nicotine now," and now you just have a bunch of straight edge sober people. that are probably so fucking boring to hang out with. I'm sorry to say, but so anyway, I just think it has to do with people not recognizing that it's like, hey, it's ultimately your choice and your body. It's not up to someone else. And to a degree, you're like, okay, well, what if this person's, this kid, it's like if you have a child, you don't want them to just be immediately smoking cannabis at the age of 13 or something, right? I mean, me personally, I would only recommend probably age 16 and 18 to start smoking, because I would say that's you should at least wait that long. You want to let your brain just kind of grow naturally, and then when you decide one day that you want to, you want to be giving your brain enough time to actually mature. And so, because a lot of people say that you do it in, your youth, and then you'll be a freak, right? But I think it's just mainly, it's that freedom again, where people are like, I can choose to do this. You can't tell me I can't. I will. So, just think how that comes back to the vaccine. It's like, it's like the same thing. You're like, hey, I really don't think you should take that vaccine. In fact, you can't sue the companies and be like, oh, I'm just going to do it anyway. It's like, okay. Kind of feels like a drug, where you're just like, hey, don't do that scary drug. And people are like, nah, I'm just going to do it anyway. It's like, all right, cool. So yeah. So now it's my turn to be Big Pharma, except I'm going to be I'm going to be a nicotine salesman. It's like, this right here will change your life. It will change your genetic code. You will never be the same. You will never, ever be the same again once you take this. And once it's in your blood and in your genetic code and altering your DNA. Once you do this, there is no going back. There is no stopping the genetic code tinkering. That's what the vaccine is. Okay? So it's just somebody peer pressuring you into a drug that you don't want to take, and they're like, man, just be cool, just take it. Everyone's doing it. In fact, don't do cannabis, right? Because that's what everyone says. Like Mr. Cool Guy, Sam Hyde. He's so cool. He tells people to never smoke weed. I love it. He's doing such favors for the whole world, isn't he? Yeah, let's, it's kind of funny too, because like Sam Hyde, he has somebody that works with him who wears a mask, and then, Sam Hyde loves talking shit about weed and cannabis and how it's, it's all bad for you, right? Yeah. Lies, it's all lies. It's all lies. Yeah, it's like, it's honestly so ironic. The same person who wears a mask, continuing this virtue signaling, is pictured on Instagram with a huge farm of weed. And it's like, oh, so Sam Hyde, you're the person who works with you, loves smoking weed, right? But you're the one who says don't do it, I guess because it's all ironic. So anyway, yeah, I would just say, think of everything in life as a peer pressure test. Someone who's like, you gotta smoke this, you gotta do that vaccine, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Oh wait, I have my own rights in my own body. I actually have the right to refuse all of that. It's like somebody trying to give you cocaine. You do not have to go down that path of trying to destroy your fucking body with cocaine. That is a path for some, not for me. And so it's the same thing. Just think of that in terms of a vaccine. It's not my path. I'm going to try my best, right? Or maybe not, but try my best to tell people why it is in fact peer pressure like a drug. So, you know, how do you find that ultimate chill? Ask Sam Hyde, you know, he probably knows. That one herb that he hates so much, right? But yeah, I can't deny nicotine is so amazing. But anyway, guys, peer pressure of life. It's like drink, smoke, take the vaccine, obey, wear the mask, obey. What do I know? I'm just a landscaper. I just put sheet wall up for a living. What the fuck do I know?